Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. I am in full fall baking mode in my kitchen, and today I wanted to share with you another fantastic fall dessert. We'll be making my caramel pecan cinnamon rolls, and these are the best cinnamon rolls for fall. They are super soft and fluffy, dotted with loads of crunchy pecans on the outside, topped with homemade caramel sauce on the top. We're going to start by making a soft yeast dough, roll it out, fill it with butter, brown sugar, cinnamon, and pecans. We'll shape the rolls, bake them, and then top them off with some homemade caramel sauce. So every single time you take a bite of a roll, it's super soft and fluffy, and then you have loads of crunchy pecans and they're just oozing with sweet caramel sauce. It is such a treat and so fantastic for fall. Don't forget to head on down into that video description box for all the recipe details up on my website, including this recipe with metric measurements. And now let me show you how to make this incredible fall dessert. We'll get things started today with our yeast dough, and I am using instant yeast today, so the instructions are going to be a little bit different than for regular yeast, but I'll include both up on my website. I'm going to start with 1 cup of warm milk, pour that into a large mixing bowl, and I'm going to add in a 1/3 cup of melted unsalted butter. Drop in 2 large eggs, 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon of instant yeast, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Use a whisk and mix this all together thoroughly. You want the eggs really well beaten. We'll need approximately 4 cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm going to start adding that in very gradually. You want to whisk it in at first until you have a smooth batter, and then add more. And then as the batter thickens into a dough, we'll switch over to a spatula. Once the dough comes together into a ball, I'm going to generously sprinkle my work surface with flour. Turn the dough out. At this point, it's still really soft and sticky, so I'm going to keep adding flour gradually, kneading the dough until it becomes really smooth and elastic. And I like to use a little bench scraper to help me along with this. Once this dough comes together, I'm going to continue to knead it for about 4 to 6 minutes until it's really smooth and elastic. This will help all those glutens develop. Now, if you have a stand mixer at home with a dough hook, you can absolutely use it for this entire dough process. And then I'll set my dough back into the mixing bowl to rest for about 10 to 15 minutes while I'm prepping my filling ingredients. My dough has rested nicely, and now it's time to get it rolled out. So you want a lightly floured work surface. Flour your rolling pin. I'm just going to shape this really quick into kind of like a little rectangle. And we're going to roll this out into a large rectangle. I usually do about 20 inches by like 15 inches. Now that we have the dough rolled out, it's time to start adding our butter. I have 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. I softened this at room temperature, and then to make it super soft, I just heated it in the microwave for 10 seconds. So it's super spreadable. You want to make sure you get that all across the dough to the edges. For the filling, we'll need 1 cup of brown sugar. I'm going to combine that with 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. Mix that all together. And then sprinkle an even layer of the brown sugar and cinnamon mixture over the butter. And last, we're going to sprinkle on 1.5 cups of finely diced pecans. And these are roasted pecans, not salted. Gonna add so much incredible crunch to every bite. Can't wait to enjoy these. Now, time to roll everything up, and you wanna do this from the long side. And just tightly start rolling everything right up. We'll use a very sharp knife to slice the log into rolls, and I like to start first by scoring the roll. We're going to make 12 rolls total, so we'll divide first into quarters. I've lined a casserole pan with parchment paper. We're going to transfer our rolls into the pan. And now we wait for our rolls to proof, and this usually takes about 45 minutes. You want them to proof until they're doubled up in size. The dough should be light and fluffy. Place the pan in a warm corner of your kitchen. I usually place mine next to the stove where the oven is preheating, so it's nice and warm, and it kind of speeds up the process a little bit. While we're waiting for these to proof, we're going to make my homemade caramel sauce, which we're going to use as a topping once these come out of the oven. For our caramel sauce, we're going to start with 1 cup of white granulated sugar. Place that into a saucepan, and we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of water. You don't need to stir this or anything. We're just going to take this over to the stove top, and we're going to cook the sugar mixture over a medium heat. Bring the sugar and water mixture up to a simmer. We're just going to let this cook away until the sugar caramelizes and becomes a golden brown color. Once your sugar is nicely browned, we're going to drop in a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter. Let that melt. And pour in 1/2 cup of cream. Remove the caramel sauce from the stovetop, and we'll drop in a teaspoon of sea salt flakes. Add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm just going to set this aside and let it cool down while we're waiting for the rolls to proof and bake. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and once the rolls are proofed, it's time to bake them. We're going to bake them for exactly 10 minutes, take them out, and pour 3/4 cups of 50/50 cream or whole milk over the top. And this is my secret to making the best cinnamon rolls. It just makes them so soft and fluffy. They're going back into the oven after that and bake for another 23 to 26 minutes until they're golden brown on top, and then we'll come back to add our caramel sauce and more pecans on top. I just took these rolls out of the oven and they smell fantastic. Now for our last ingredient on top, or 2 ingredients, we need more caramel and more pecans. So we're gonna just drizzle this homemade sauce over the rolls. And I like to do this while they're still hot out of the oven, because that allows that caramel to really get into all the nooks and crannies. These cinnamon rolls look so incredible. Just use a sharp knife to portion them. Check that out. Doesn't that look amazing? If you'd like, add some extra caramel on top. These caramel pecan cinnamon rolls smell so incredible. My kitchen smells like fall baking heaven. Cinnamon, caramel, sweetbread. It's like the most incredible combination. I can't wait for you to try these. Don't forget to head on down into that video description box for the recipe link. I'll have all the details up on my website, including this recipe with metric measurements. And now let's dig in to enjoy. These just smell so good. Oh, and all that caramel, all those pecans, just divine. Okay, these are ridiculously delicious. That was the most incredible bite of cinnamon roll ever. It's just oozing with caramel, and then you have the crunchy pecans, and the cinnamon rolls are so soft and fluffy, just incredible texture. Oh my goodness. Okay, somebody needs to take these away from me because I can eat half the pan. There are not enough words to describe just how ridiculously delicious these are. Simply incredible. They're going to be the biggest hit all fall. I can imagine these for like Thanksgiving breakfast. This is going to be the perfect treat. You guys need to run to make these immediately. Thank you so much for watching my latest episode. I hope you have fun baking these at home because I absolutely love these. I love the aroma of these baking in the oven, and then the taste and the texture is out of this world. I'll hope you enjoy it at home, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe.